Hey guys, Merce here, and welcome to Arathi Basin on a Fire Mage. So let's just jump right into it. This is a request video, and basically we're going to be playing defensively in this one. We're going to be holding down one node, and all you need to do to win Arathi Basin is evenly distribute your team amongst 3 nodes, hold them down, call outs, say guys we need help at lumber mill, guys we need help at blacksmith or gold mine, and that's a very easy way to win. People get greedy and go for different nodes that they don't necessarily need, especially when we have 3 bases. In this one you'll even see some of my teammates going for farm, for example. So I personally just like holding down 3. I don't really coordinate with the team just because you know, people may not listen and just stuff like that. I just go in and have fun. Try to anyway. Alright, so I see this arcane mage, so I get a counter spell up on it right away. I start spell stealing because it spell stole my shield right there. I spell stole it right back. And I had my ice barrier cooldown available, so I had 2 shields in a row. And we're going to get rid of this mage very, very quickly. Alright, and I'm just going to be staying at Lumbermill. I'm going to be protecting it as best I can. Alright, so this shaman is very, very funny. Okay, so basically what I'm doing here is I'm standing at the edge because I'm trying to juke him into thinking he can get a knockoff. Now I'm going to get as far away from the edge as possible. And he's going to try and nuke me. Now he's trying to lure me to the edge, and I'm not going to fall for it. I'm just going to basically get away from the edge. I'm going to get him down as quickly as possible. And I don't kind of hold back just because it's one, because if 2 more people come up and one's a healer, I want him dead as quickly as I can. So I'm going to get a Pyroblast to finish him off right there. Remove his insignia so he can't get a reincarnation up, pop up, and a thunderstorm, which I'm pretty sure he was waiting for right there. Alright, and the reason I'm cutting is just because there was a lot of waiting, just because I was only guarding Lumbermill. So here comes a shaman again. Again, I'm going to stay as far away from the edge as possible. So he just keeps coming back, so I just have to keep on killing him. I get a counterspell up right there. And this Frost Mage on my team comes in and helps me finish him off. And I get a Pyroblast right there to finish him off. So he pops back up. Now I know he has a 30-minute cooldown for his reincarnation. I don't have to worry about removing his insignia or anything like that. So he dies due to my living bomb and my dots right there. Bonus for us. So I want to talk a little bit about Counterspell. Counterspell is a very effective tool, and reason being is not only will it interrupt a spell, but it will also silence the target for 3 seconds. So as you can see right here, I'm in invisibility. The hunter doesn't even see me. Now this is actually pretty funny. I'll go back to Counterspell in a minute. The shaman actually gets a knockoff here. I had no idea he was coming. But as I'm falling, I get my slow fall up. And right here I'm going to check my map. And I see that we don't have farms, so I'm going to blink down so I don't go any further. I see there's only one guy, so I'm going to get my Pyroblast up. And just use my Dragon's Breath. As soon as you get Death Grip, use your Dragon's Breath to disorient him. Force a trinket if they have one. And right after the trinket, you can catch them in a Frost Nova and a Deep Freeze to stun them and get a lot of massive damage up on that target, and it'll be a pretty quick fight. So here I'm trying to take farm, and my buddy the shaman comes back, and this is the first and only time I die, and he could not do it alone. It needed 2 people. It was a geared hunter and the shaman, and I get this shaman down to pretty low health. So even if my cauterize was up, and you know, just a little bit longer I would have had him. A few more crits I would have had him. But nonetheless, I did go down, he did not. So kudos to the shaman, the Death Knight, and the hunter. Anyway, so going back to Counterspell. Counterspell is very useful. What I like to do is, if I'm on a healer and the healer is at half health, I'm not going to actually wait for a heal. I'm going to use my Counterspell, utilize a 3-second silence on the healer, and try and get as much burst as I can. Because a healer can be trying to juke a counterspell, a kick, a rebuke, a pummel, any sort of interrupt you can think of. What it will not think about, or at least in my experience some healers don't, is it will not think about of a premature counterspell just to utilize that 3-second silence and get as much damage as you can up on that target. And what I mean by that is as soon as that healer hits 50%, 30%, or gets really, really low and you see it healing, or you see it stop to start hard casting, get that counter spell up, silence it, and get as much damage as you can up on it. Another smart thing to do is make sure your Inferno Blast or Pyro Blaster is up before you do this, so you can get an instant Pyro. If that crits, get your Inferno, followed by another instant Pyro. Just getting a lot of damage up on that one target. So we're going to go over here and fight this hunter, but as soon as I get over here, after I get stuck on the fence that is, I see he doesn't want any part of it. So here comes my buddy the Shaman again, a Death Knight, and what else was there, a Warrior or a Shadow Priest? Actually, I think it was that hunter again. Yeah, that hunter. So I'm going to go right for the Shaman. I know he's geared, and I'm just going to make him my #1 primary target. He may be PvE geared, I'm pretty sure. So even more so, I know the burst he can do, and I am just in no mood to get burst down by an Elemental Shaman. So I'm going to Pyroblast, 34,000 crit up on him, get him down very quickly. The hunter will be finished off. Easy as that. And also, guys, I'm going to show you something right here. I'm going to get my Ice Berry up after I try and aggravate him a little bit. So right there I get my Ice Ward, and I Frost Nova him here. So as soon as he attacks me, right there, or sorry, that was another fight coming up. So he tries to run away, and I'm not going to really allow that just because he did come up and attack me, but he chose suicide over that. Alright, is this fight I was thinking of. So I have my Ice Barrier up. I'm going to use my Ice Ward in a minute. And reason being is, as soon as he breaks my Ice Barrier, or as soon as he even touches me in melee combat, my Ice Ward will break right there, freeze him, and if he wants to, he'll blow a Trinket. Every mage has Shatter, which is a 50% increased critical strike chance against frozen targets, and he decides to try and run away, which is, you know, I'm not going to let him just because we don't want any enemies even around Lumber Mill at this point. So, and that's it. I'm just basically patrolling, waiting for the game to end. It was a very, very close match. It was a very fun match. I hope it helped. If you guys have any questions or comments, please leave it under the video in the comments section. And if you guys liked it, enjoyed it, found it entertaining, if it helps, if you learned anything, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment. It would greatly, greatly help me. Thank you guys very much, and as always, happy hunting.